Welcome. Today we talk about a very delicate subject, dedicated to all those who have lived in the circle of Jehovah's Witnesses. The religious trauma, usually for all other life situations, with due exceptions, when you say goodbye to a certain environment, a chapter closes and another one opens. But this is not the case for those who have lived for years, or were even born among Jehovah's Witnesses. Since we are not talking about a regular religion, but a movement with the characteristics of a sect, these people who are in, who have come out, or even born amid it, no matter how much they may have changed their lives, they will be marked forever from the vision of life with which they shaped their pseudo-identity. Yes, because one cannot speak of identity. Think about it. What happens to the identity among the Jehovah's Witnesses? This is a long speech, very, very long, that we will cover in several videos. Let's start with sexual identity. Do you know how a marriage among Jehovah's Witnesses works? I give you a clue. Their marriage is like marrying strangers. If a boy or a girl is infatuated with someone, and especially if the feelings are mutual, things already start to get complicated. First and foremost, you can't declare yourself immediately, but you have to observe the person you are interested in, without telling anyone. Without telling anyone. Nobody understands, not anyone, not even her or him. This because he or she, he unknowingly, will behave as usual, without doing something with the goal of deceiving the person who is interested in her.
And so, if this period of unknown observation is successful, it can be declared. And, gentlemen who are watching this video, what do you think this person will say to show interest in her? Well, it will be some sort of declaration, some sort of commitment. One might call it a proposal. I know you won't believe me at first, but those who have lived it can confirm all of this. And if the person receiving this serious news does not get scared and does not run away, because the responsibilities are heavy, and all of this will be under the eyes, as well as under the control of the elders, and to public criticism, as well as to the public gossip monger. So what do we do? Guess. What will now begin? It won't be a knowledge, but it will be, guess what? A frequentation. A frequentation in view of a wedding. That's what it's called. I'm addressing those who haven't lived among them. Has anyone talked to you about this yet? Did you know? And if everything isn't strange enough up to this point, do you know how courtship works in view of marriage?
Forget everything you're used to thinking about. Why this courtship in view of marriage is unparalleled in the entire universe. He has no equals among the natives, had no equals in the Renaissance, and had no equals in the Middle Ages. In this courtship towards marriage, you won't go out alone, you won't stay in the car alone, and it's even discouraged to hold hands. Then you'll ask if at least you can freely exchange messages.
Until the next episode.
That's also not recommended. And why? Because through messages it's easier to lose inhibitions. There's no third person, and you can go beyond. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to build you a complete documentary made of their speeches, their articles, and their videos, but I can assure you, in fact, I invite you to use the comment section below to share your experience. So what do we do about it? Sending messages takes away time from studying. Sending messages takes away time from service, even if the relationship is no longer there. So let's see what will happen. Dating with the view to marriage is sitting near the meetings, participate in the same field service group, without even going door to door together, and increase theocratic activity. Have you noticed what this increase in theocratic activity consists of? Have you noticed that when a courtship with marriage in mind begins, the two lovebirds are sitting on two adjacent chairs at the meetings? The number of comments at the meetings increases. The way of living in there is absurd, but alas, it is so. Everything to avoid being alone and not having temptations of the flesh.
So, because life is so difficult now between these two pseudo-lovers, what do? The wedding is hastily organized. Yes, because even though it is possible to go out alone, even though it is done in very crowded places, it would be better not to. Why? To not set a bad example and for the conscience of others. And here you know well how many writings are cited regarding this. As I write this video, it's hard to hold back a smile of indignation and shame thinking about this way of life. That's why this leads to traumas. We'll see later.
How does a couple who met in this way and get married in a year live in the same house? How does a couple who met this way get to know each other individually on a sexual level? What will it teach the children? And if it wasn't their first engagement, what maturity have the individuals acquired? And the pseudo-individuals who come out of this sect, how will they find themselves outside?
This is just one aspect of the individuality of Jehovah's Witnesses, an individuality that does not exist. How much personal growth could exist living a life like this? Aside from the fact that the facts speak for themselves, how many couples in crisis after a few months of marriage in there? A threefold cord? That's why they insist so much on study and theocratic activities. It's 95% elegant. Actually, the more they intensify the activities called theocratic, they can ignore problems due to a lack of knowledge between them. Which rope has 3 ends? Maybe it's a single cable rope. This is where the traumas begin, both inside and out. If there is no individual, how can there be a couple? And if there is no couple, how can there be a family? How will a man behave who at 30 opens his eyes and leaves this cult? Will he have the personal growth tools to face a relationship? Will have the psychological tools to live and to the children? When they face the problems of adolescence, how will they respond? With Gabriele's cartoons. That's why we talk about traumas. It's not enough to just get out. How much harm they have done and are doing to so many people. Who needs psychiatrists who can no longer find a place and does not have a normal sexual life? The only way to defend ourselves is knowledge. Let's spread the word, folks, all of this. We can save someone who's still in there. See you in the next video.